Best-selling children's author Roald Dahl, who wrote the book Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, among many others, once said, "I began to realize how simple life could be if one had a routine to follow with fixed hours, a fixed salary, and very little original thinking to do." Pretty interesting coming from a creative type, where everyone likes to think they sit around waiting for inspiration and then magically create stories out of thin air. Here's the reality of their magic. They show up every freaking day at 8 a.m. and write, or paint, or design. It's magical to everyone else because they don't have a routine. Now, all that is well and good for an artist, but what about a business owner, you might say? Well, you're no different. You're trying to create and birth something out of thin air as well. It's just you're judged against numbers on a bank statement versus words on a page or paint on a canvas. Routines and rituals are important to you and I because they keep the most important things on our radar in our day and mastering the fundamental pillars of business. Here's why the R.O.A.R framework is one of the most important things I work with clients on. It's because most people are struggling with 3 frustrations when they look at their output. They're frustrated with the inconsistency. Some days are great, some weeks are terrible numbers, and some days are inspiring, and some weeks they've hit the wall of being unmotivated. They're frustrated with the level of resistance they feel in their days. It's always a struggle. They're frustrated with the fires that are always popping up, the taxes that didn't get paid and now there's a notice. The revenues are dropping because they haven't been getting out there as much lately. The staff are having issues with each other because they haven't thought about the culture they want in their business. And all of this just adds up to being fed up and occasionally wanting to quit. The only problem is you're an entrepreneur, so you never quit, which just keeps you on a hamster wheel of frustration. Conversely though, after helping thousands of people develop routines and rituals, I know that people really want consistency. So they know that no matter what, they can always depend on themselves and the performance that is always there. They want the momentum of moving through their days that takes them through and over little annoyances or even larger obstacles that typically trip them up. And third, they want preparation and prevention. Now that may not sound like something very sexy, but the people that deal with fires all the time love the idea of possibly maybe having things in place to handle issues when they pop up. And again, you get all those 3 things working for you, and it gets you independence. That exciting feeling that you're not tethered to anyone else's dreams or any other circumstances, but you're truly the master of your own destiny because you're steering the ship. And folks, that's why routines and rituals are so important. Routines and rituals create freedom and a deep sense of self-reliance. And a recent study from the UK showed that self-reliance is the #1 factor to entrepreneurial success. And I'd love for you to have an image of yourself of someone that has a tremendous amount of trust and respect for your ability to get things achieved. Now, establishing a routine can definitely be a challenge. The human brain likes familiarity and consistency. It doesn't like having to do work to get something done. New tasks and oftentimes your mind's worst enemy are new things. But that's also why routines are so powerful. They allow your brain to work on autopilot. Anything in life can become a ritual if you work at it long enough. Research has demonstrated that the average routine takes about 66 days to be established into a habit. Now, of course, it varies. Drinking a glass of water in the morning becomes a routine far more quickly than maybe going for a short run every morning. But understanding the concept that anything you choose to do becomes easier or even automatic over time is a powerful force. My point is this though, anything you struggle with now will only get easier as you continue to do it. I found this to be the case in any number of routines that I've ever formed. Just recently I started eating more green leafy vegetables. Something that was once a struggle or didn't even show up on my radar screen or plate very often was eating those vegetables. But now it's easy and I rarely even think about it. There's not a day that goes by that I haven't consumed the good old healthy stuff. Okay, let's dig into a model for creating routines and where you should think about creating some right now in the next video.